Today I want to share how I plan on building a $100 million company. I have gotten to a place where now I feel like I know enough business where I can go for that $100 million play. Some of these brands did $10 million. I was in a tough spot because I don't have any experience in tech. For everyone watching this, you might be thinking $100 million, that sounds so out of this world, it sounds so far away, it sounds impossible to accomplish in your lifetime. That's also what I thought too, and then I learned a little bit more about business and I realized it's actually fairly realistic and I want to do it before I turn 30. So before I get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Let's get the algorithm on our side and let's get into it. Alright, so as many of you guys already know from the title of this video and the intro, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I plan on building a $100 million company, a $100 million business, and hopefully selling it before I turn 30. Keep in mind, right now I'm 26. I want to sell a company for $100 million before I turn 30. It sounds pretty nuts. $100 million in just 4 years sounds pretty out of this world, but I want to explain in this video and break it down how exactly I'm going to do it, what my plan is. And the universe works in a weird way where if you have something absurd enough, something crazy enough, and you put it out into the universe, it usually happens. The most unlikely things usually happen when you plan it correctly. So before I jump into my master plan, I want to give you guys a little bit of a background of how I got to this point, why I decided that I want to sell a company for $100 million before 30. To start, it's all based off the mistakes I made in business early in my career. When I started entrepreneurship when I was 18 years old, I really wanted to just make money. That was my only goal. I wasn't thinking long term. I wasn't thinking about building a company I could sell. I just wanted to make $1 million and I thought life was going to be good after that. What I failed to realize is making $1 million is cool, but then not having anything to show for it except for $1 million isn't really the best feeling as far as an entrepreneur goes. So what I did early in my career is I started businesses that didn't necessarily have a long shelf life. They made a lot of money up front, but they didn't have a long lifetime customer value. That's customers that stay and continue to buy your products. A great example is how we are with Netflix, where we pay every single month. If I were to think about how much money I've spent on Netflix, it's probably like $300, $400 over the span of 3-4 years, maybe even longer, 6-7 years, and I don't even know how much I pay anymore. I might have spent $1,000 on Netflix already, and it's crazy when you think about it like that. The mistake I made in business is I was selling products that only had a one-time offer or one-time buy value. So if you buy something once for 80 bucks, it's a great way to make $1 million if you have a great product, but the customers don't come back, and that's not a sustainable business model. The secret to a lot of businesses is you have to have a long-term business model. So even though some of these brands did $10 million, $1 million, $2 million, they didn't have a long shelf life where I could continue to keep selling them because they eventually started like dying out or slowing down or getting less sales. And in the business world, this is bad because eventually when I'm done with the company, I'm tired of it and I'm looking to sell it, the offers aren't gonna come in as high. They're not gonna be offers that I want. It's not going to be something that I feel like all my years of hard work was worth it for. So in summary, when I was a young entrepreneur and I didn't know too much high-level business, I built businesses that had great front-end potential. Front-end meaning getting a sale, making profit, putting money in my pocket. That's exactly what I was doing, but it had no long-term customer value, no lifetime customer value. It was all one purchase and that's it. I had no repeat customers. And because of this, the businesses I built didn't really have any long-term value. They didn't have huge upside when I was looking to sell them. And as unfortunate as it is, I had to start from square one. So that brings us to today. After making a couple $1 million and learning a lot about business through trial and error, maybe making expensive mistakes, I have gotten to a place where now I feel like I know enough business where I can go for that $100 million play. You might be wondering, Rene, how do you plan on doing it in 4 years? That sounds crazy. And ultimately, it all just boils down to how businesses work. When you go to sell a business, there's something called an EBITDA multiplier. And essentially, it's just how much you can sell your business for or what multiple you can sell your business for based on how much your business made. The businesses I had before, the EBITDA multiplier was like 1. So if the business did $4 million, I'd be able to sell the business for $4 million. If the business did $2 million, I'd be able to sell the business for $2 million. And different products, different industries, businesses have different multipliers. Some are higher than others. Software has a 10 multiplier. So if I have a software that made 500 grand last month, I could sell it for $5 million. If the software did $10 million last month, I could sell it for $100 million. Because you have these multipliers, it makes it a lot easier to sell a business for a lot more money. Anyone that's building a brand or building a company considers these multipliers before they even build a business. A great example, tech has great multipliers, whereas physical products not necessarily have the highest multipliers. So when I started crafting this master plan to sell a company for $100 million a year ago, I was in a tough spot because I don't have any experience in tech. I don't have any tech school experience. I don't know anyone in tech. What I was good at is physical products, e-commerce, marketing. So that led me down a rabbit hole to look at what physical products, what industries have the best multipliers in e-commerce. And that's when I stumbled on, you guessed it, supplements. As many of you know, I started a supplement company last March, Untitled. And this is exactly what I plan on using as a vehicle to get to $100 million. Supplement companies are great businesses for a couple reasons. One, people refill this. They buy this more than once. People buy this every month, like Netflix, like a new release on a new iPhone. Whenever a new iPhone comes out, people buy it over and over again. They do that with supplements because they take it, they finish it, and they get another one. Another great thing about supplements is they have huge margins, whereas physical products, you might be lucky if you get 30, 40, 50% margin. Supplements, you can get anywhere from 200, 300% margins or more. So the fact that customers have to refill their supplements every single month and they have to buy more every single month, combined with the high margins on a physical product, makes supplements one of the biggest businesses or best businesses with the best multipliers when you look to sell them. Overall, they're just a great physical product business. That being said, supplements do have their downsides. Because it's such a great business model and it's such a great product with high margins, usually the hardest part about supplements is penetrating the market, aka getting some market share, aka selling it, aka the marketing. But in my case, luckily for me, I've been spending the last 6 years of my life becoming a master of marketing, becoming one of the best marketers in the world.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
So now, not only do I have the best business model for a physical product where I specialize in, I'm also really good at what's difficult about this physical product. I'm filling the gaps of what makes this physical product hard. And just to give you an idea of how fast these businesses grow, I started Unlimited during my 90-day challenge. This was the product I used to build my 90-day challenge. And when I got the company evaluated after the 90 days, it was already worth close to $250,000. I generated a $250,000 company in 90 days with no money. Fast forward a year, the company's already worth $1 million. Just to give you an idea, supplement companies tend to have anywhere from a 5 to 8 multiplier on revenue. That means I would have 4 years to get Unlimited's revenue to anywhere from $15 to $20 million in order to sell it for $100 million. And because of this perfect storm of just how perfect the situation is and my belief in the universe, I don't see this going any other way except for it happening. So with all that information, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think I'm going to pull it off? Do you find holes in my plan somewhere? Is there something I'm not thinking about? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this plan, if I'm going to pull it off or not. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Oh, and by the way, guys, when I pull this off in 4 years, I'm going to come back to this video and say I told you so. Love you guys.
Break rules, never make them. She act up, I replace her.